Suicide is increasingly becoming one of the leading causes of death worldwide, despite significant improvements in our survival systems and lifestyle. The paradox is difficult to ignore. While society advances materially, more people are taking their own lives than those dying from homicide, war, or even road accidents. This growing crisis reveals a deeper issue than just material deprivation or external hardships. It reflects a collective misunderstanding of human suffering, a lack of deeper psychological and spiritual insight into what it truly means to live, and why someone might no longer wish to continue. Many people are quick to judge those who are suicidal, labeling them weak, incompetent, or emotionally impotent. But this view is overly simplistic and dismisses the complexity of human consciousness. Suicidal ideation often arises not from incapacity, but from an excess of sensitivity and intelligence. Individuals who are deeply sensitive, spiritually aware, or mentally acute usually experience the world with a raw intensity that is unbearable in a society structured around conformity, superficiality, and endless competition. They feel the emotional emptiness of modern life more vividly than others. They intuitively recognize the hollowness of a system that rewards shallow ambition and punishes depth of perception. Their minds are not built to function as cogs in the economic engine merely. They are meant to explore, experience, create, and evolve. And yet, they find themselves cornered into lives that demand the overuse of memory and intellect for economic sustenance, leaving their deeper capacities and potential for higher consciousness suffocated, unused, and unexplored. These individuals do not necessarily lack courage or the will to live. They often lack reasons that feel authentic and deep. Most people have reasons to live life because of the desires rooted in survival, social approval, reproduction, and material gain. But the sensitive, intelligent person sees through these limitations and illusions. They recognize that survival and procreation are not enough to justify existence. They are aware, often painfully, that humanity has far greater potential than what society demands or celebrates. At the same time, they are not given an alternative path. They are not exposed to more conscious or spiritual ways of living. They are not exposed to the power of self-realization, or if they are, they find themselves unable to express this understanding in a world that is quick to ridicule, condemn, or reduce everything to scientific materialism. Society often declares such people delusional or unscientific, unable to grasp what cannot be measured or explained by the puny intellect it has idolized. This rigid system fails to comprehend the full gamut of human intelligence and reduces life to numbers, fancy terminologies, functions, and efficiency. When a person finds themselves in suicidal despair, it is not always a sign of collapse or weakness. In many cases, it is a sign of spiritual ripening and readiness. The depth of their suffering points to the depth of their awareness. The suicidal person, rather than destroying the body, needs to transform the mind. Killing the body does not kill the underlying patterns and tendencies of the mind. Those continue into the next life, again repeating the same limitations and problems in a new form as a cycle. The solution lies not in destruction, but in silent revolution, an inner transformation brought about through awareness, meditation, and constant self-inquiry. The journey is inward, not outward. By honoring their own sensitivity, the individual can begin to transcend the mental conditioning imposed by society. In this way, the pain becomes the starting point for a deeper, truer life. The purpose of life is to attain the highest form of self-awareness, to realize one's full potential in this very lifetime, not only for oneself, but also to guide others out of their darkness, in one's own creative and authentic way. Despair and suffering, then, are not meaningless. They are expressions of an inner lacuna in consciousness that must be filled with awareness, not condemnation. If these gaps are dismissed or rejected, they remain immature and become wounds carried across lifetimes. But when those same gaps are met with honesty, awareness, and surrender, they become the foundation for higher maturity, deeper integrity, deeper realization, and a renewed sense of purpose. Suffering can be a teacher if one allows it. It holds within it the seeds of transformation. When self-awareness begins to grow, so does the capacity for joy, beauty, and creativity. At the intersection of despair and surrender, the crisis of suicide can become the unexpected doorway to a new kind of life. It can become a hidden catalyst for a spiritual rebirth and higher creativity. From that turning point, what once felt like the end may reveal itself to be the beginning of a life lived with deeper meaning, one that finally aligns with the truth the sensitive person always longed for. More often than not, it is such a person who holds the power to restore integrity in society, someone who has walked through their own darkness, faced their inner demons, and emerged with a light and clarity that refuses to be compromised. It is this hard-earned clarity that silently influences the world, not through force, but through the presence of someone who has become whole.